your massive hand. Thank you so much. Do we still have one more friend? Okay. Now I would like to invite the Secretary General of the ANC, Rayne Mandela-Perry, to give us a message. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you, Program Director. Inkosi Zwelivelile Mandela, Zwelivelile, Mama Grasa Machel, members of the Royal House of Mandela, members of the Musehle family, Father Theodore, Minister of Sanitation, of Water and Sanitation, Me Pemi Majodina, members of Parliament in attendance, former Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, Mena Lady Pando, traditional leadership, comrades and friends. As the oldest liberation movement on the African continent, the African National Congress, I rise to pay a heartfelt homage to a remarkable matriarch, Mamu Nolusapho, Rayne Mandela-Perry, whose life of dignity, compassion and service bound the Mvezo community together. I wish to convey our deepest condolences to the Royal House of Mandela and to the Mvezo Traditional Council. We mourn with you and we give thanks for a life that blessed us with unconditional love, boundless strength and treasured memories. Mamu Nolusapho was the former wife to Makhatu Mandela, the son of President Nelson Mandela, Kgolhlahla, and the beloved mother of Inkosi Zwelivelile Mandela. She was also the descendant of King Sekhukhune I, whose gallantry was revered far and wide, characterized by steadfast moral resolve to protect his nation's right to self-determination, and to show that African leadership could command, coordinate, and endure under relentless pressure from colonial forces. On behalf of the African National Congress at large and the people of South Africa, sithi akwehlanga lungehliyo kunjalo kuzo zonke izizwe. Kungako sithi lalani ngenxeba ningaqumbi niqalise. We have seen Mamu Nolusapho patiently following in the footsteps of Mamu Nolusapho, Evelyn Mandela, Mamu Nomzamo Winnie Mandela, and Mamu Grasa Machel. All these women played a significant role in anchoring and uniting the house of Gadla Mandela, and by extension, the nation of Abatembu. When Mamu Nolusapho accepted the role of leading and uniting the house of Mandela, a role of guiding and advising his son, Inkosi Uzwelivelile Mandela, a role of leading shared community development in the area of Mvezo. She did that with humility, courage, and good intellectual capabilities that were necessary for that role and responsibility. As a mother of the nation, she took that responsibility with great humility and respect. When Nelson Mandela talked about humility, he said, I quote, "In judging our progress as individuals, we tend to concentrate on external factors such as one's social position, influence and popularity, wealth and standard of living, but internal factors may be even more crucial in assessing one's development as a human being. Honesty, sincerity, simplicity, humility, pure generosity, absence of vanity, readiness to serve others," close quote. Yet it was among the homesteads and hills of Mvezo that she chose to measure leadership, not in the volume of applause or the glare of cameras, but in the quiet, steady labor of uplifting others. The Royal House and the Council have received condolences from far and wide, beyond our country's borders. Such breadth of affection testifies to a life lived in service of family, community, and heritage. Those who knew her speak of kindness, not as a sentiment, but as a daily discipline. She helped people at all times, organizing support for households in distress, mediating community concerns, and ensuring that no neighbor felt alone. The roads of Mvezo, rough footpaths worn by generations where hospitality is a first language, were her parish. She moved with humility, listened deeply, and acted decisively. Mamu Nolusapho believed that the strength of a village resides in the dignity of its people. She invested in her time with women, encouraging self-reliance through skills that carry memory and meaning, sewing, beadwork, and cooperative enterprises. These were not side projects. They were engines of dignity. Work that put food on tables, sent children to school, and passed on artistry that binds us to our ancestors. In a world, heritage was a living practice, something you wore, sang, crafted, and taught. She served not only her immediate family, but the institutions that hold our customs together. She previously acted as a head of the Royal House, while her son served in Parliament. Her ethic drew strength from the values that Tata Madiba articulated, that our growth is measured not by status of wealth, but by honesty, sincerity, simplicity, humility, generosity, and a readiness to serve others. Those values were not theory to her. They were habits. In each visit paid, in each young woman encouraged, in each household assisted, we glimpsed the quiet revolution she led. These are the qualities that set Mamu Nolusapho apart from the rest. She stood to be counted as one of the few African women whose role was not limited to the kitchen, but she ensured that social justice and equality and access to opportunities is enjoyed by the youth and women of Mvezo. The leadership of Mamu could be seen on how she guided the women of Mvezo and how she used Ikomkhulu as a home to the widows and orphans of Mvezo. How she used Ikomkhulu laseMvezo as a catalyst for development. This is exactly what Nelson Mandela would have appreciated about the role that Mamu Nolusapho played amongst her people. She was a dedicated servant of the of the people, a liberator of women, in particular, rural women. Delivering his first State of the Nation address in May 1994, President Nelson Mandela said, I quote, "Freedom cannot be achieved unless women have been emancipated from all forms of oppression. Our endeavors must be about the liberation of the woman, the emancipation of the man, and the liberty of the child." Close quote. Umama was inspired by these words of wisdom, and she became the embodiment of this vision. The ANC and people of South Africa are very proud of the legacy that she left behind. She left a strong and formidable legacy that will benefit generations to come. Because of leaders like Mamu Nolusapho, Mvezo is not only a place of memory, it is a place of possibility. The Mandela School of Science and Technology, Mvezo's first high school, stands as a beacon for rural excellence, posting outstanding results with a pass rate of 91.7% in 2025, proving that no child's future should be limited by geography. We salute the educators, parents, and learners who carry that torch forward. As we mourn the passing of our matriarch, messages of condolences continue to pour in from far and wide. They speak of a woman who, though rarely in the spotlight, shaped lives and institutions with grace. They remind us that heritage is not an event, it's a way of life. That leadership is a daily choice to build, to heal, and to serve. As we pay our final respects to Mamu Nolusapho, allow me to invoke the blessing spoken by Elizabeth to Mary, the mother of Jesus. I quote, "Blessed is the fruit of a womb," close quote. Today we bless the fruit of Mamu Nolusapho's womb and express our gratitude to Inkosi Zwelivelile Mandela, an outstanding leader who stands against injustice is unquestionable. You've been unwavering in the defense of human rights, giving practical expression to this deep commitment to the freedom and liberation of people of Palestine. In 2025, you joined the global flotilla, sailing to challenge the siege of Gaza and to deliver aid to civilians, intercepted and detained in international waters by the apartheid Israeli state. You bore witness with courage and composure. South Africans rallied for your release, with Mamu Nolusapho's voice leading the call. And he returned home with an even deeper resolve to stand with the oppressed. You stood firm in the face of adversity, as you were driven by courageous words of Nelson Mandela when he said, I quote, "Our freedom is incomplete without the freedom of the Palestinians," close quote. The passing of your beloved mother must serve as an opportunity to reflect on her teachings that influenced and shaped you and reflect on her work. And dignity is captured in the words of Ernesto Che Guevara when he said, I quote, "If you tremble with indignation at every injustice, then you are a comrade of mine," close quote. Your solidarity affirms the best traditions of our movement and the teachings of Mamu Nolusapho, that leadership is a duty to protect, uplift, and reconcile. Thank you for sharing her with us. To the elders we say, keep telling the stories that plant courage in young hearts. To the women and youth we say, Mamu Nolusapho's work teaches us to build through enterprise, education, and solidarity, lives that are dignified and communities that are just. As the ANC, we commit ourselves to honoring her memory by intensifying the work that mattered to her, supporting women's economic empowerment, defending traditional leadership that serves the people, while safeguarding cultural roots and restorative justice, developing rural infrastructure, supporting youth development, making them champions of local economic development. These are the commitments that underpin our mandate, which we continue to implement as we advance with all our challenges. Our march to realize a democratic society where a better life for all is lived reality. To Inkosi Zwelivelile, in your footsteps we see your mother's teachings. In your voice we hear Mvezo's heartbeat. In your solidarity we recognize South Africa's promise that our freedom is a bond we share with all those who remain oppressed, from Palestine to Western Sahara. And as we close, allow me to return to the scripture for comfort and for blessing. Luke chapter 1 verse 42 says, I quote, "Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb." Close quote. Kuni kemzi wo madiba, omthorhaga, ozondwa, opheladi yamaswi, sithi kusekuba asibanga nani ngayo yonke imihla yenu yokuvuya, kodwa sithi ekusitheleni kwelanga singumbutho wesizwe, i-African National Congress, sinani kwezirhwexayo. Ngolu hlobo thuthuzelekani, akuhlanga lungehlange, yonke imbewu yohlulwa ngumpha yandule ukutyalwa. Robala kakhutso pheladi yamaswi matse bamulope ka mantswe ao re a leboha. Enkosi ndiyabulela. Thank you.